Hey, what's going on, guys? Thanks for checking out this video on my sports Gematria. In this video, I'm going to go over all the NBA games for Monday, February 15th, 2021. I'm going to show you both sides of each game, and it'll be up to you to determine who you think is going to win based on the numbers. I encourage you to add additional information on top of this if needed for you to feel confident in your own pick. And if for whatever reason you're curious to know who I am picking in these games, you'll have to join my Patreon where my picks are always in writing, underlined, and italicized. For more information on that, please read the description of this video. I wish you guys the best of luck in your picks today. Let's go ahead and get into the games. We got Bulls, Pacers, Rockets, Wizards, Hawks, Knicks, Sixers, Jazz, Cavaliers, Warriors, Heat, Clippers, Nets, and Kings. So the first game, Bulls and Pacers. This side I have my daily numbers, date numerology, Gregorian, and the Hebrew. This side is what I call my game numbers. Away team up top, head to head in the middle, home team at the bottom. Bulls versus the Pacers. So it's the Bulls' 13th away game for the season. It's the Pacers' 16th home game for the season. Bulls can get their 16th loss for the season. Pacers could sit on 13 losses for the season with the win. Today does have 13 date numerology on the Gregorian. If Pacers win, they would get their 15th win for the season. 15 sums to 38, and today does have 38 date numerology on the Gregorian as well. With that being said, Bulls, if they were to win this game, they would sit on 15 losses for the season as they pick up their 11th win for the season, and they would become 1-1 head-to-head against the Pacers, like 11 for the season. Today does have 22 date numerology on the Gregorian as well, and if Pacers lose this game, they become 7-9 at home for the season, like 79, the 22nd prime number. However, this number works against the Bulls as well. If the Bulls lose this game and go ahead and get their 16th loss and Pacers' 16th home game, Bulls coach would sit on 253 regular season wins for his career, and 253 is the 22nd triangular number. Rockets versus the Wizards. You know, I don't have a whole lot marked here just because I can mark so much it would just be overwhelming. So I want to just go ahead and start. Rockets, if they lose this game against the Wizards, they would sit on 11 wins for this season, and the Wizards would become 1-1 head-to-head against the Rockets for the season, like an 11. The Wizards, they can get their 8th win for the season in their coach's 888th regular season game for his career. What else? Let me see. What else was there? '73 Wizards would sit on 73 regular season head-to-head losses against the Rockets. 73 sums to 58, and today does have 58 date numerology on the Gregorian. This is the Rockets' 16th away game, and with the loss, they would get their 16th loss for this season. It's the 160th all-time head-to-head matchup between these two, and Rockets would become 6-10 on the road with the loss, which is an anagram of 160. Rockets would also get their 6th loss in a row for the season, and 6 sums to 16. There's kind of a 16 pattern there. And that would be the Wizards' pattern for winning. If the Rockets were going to win this game, they would do it by getting their 12th win for the season, as well as getting their 78th all-time head-to-head win against the Wizards. 78th, the 12th triangular number. Today does have 22 date numerology on the Gregorian, and 22 does sum to 78 as well. Wizards can become 7-18 for a season record with a loss, and their coach would get his 187th regular season loss as a coach for Wizards. The tricky thing about this, though, is it can go either way. Meaning, if Wizards do win this game and become 8-17, and they lose their next game and become 8-18, well, the Wizards coach would get his. Well, actually, no, that wouldn't, huh? It would only happen at this one. So the only time the 7-18 and the 1-8-7 would line up would be this game. Okay, I was making something up here. So yeah, so if Wizards lose and become 7-18, their coach would get his 187th regular season losses as a coach for Wizards, which is an anagram of each other. 7-18, 1-8-7. You know, Rockets getting their going 2-0 head-to-head against Wizards. The only thing I can think of for that, not necessarily for the 20, but for it having 22 date numerology on the Gregorian, they can just get their second win head-to-head against Wizards for the number 2. They would end their 5-game losing streak while sitting on 15 losses for the season. 15 has is the 5th triangular number. This game, I don't know. I'm looking at this game, and that's why I don't have a whole lot marked, because I can honestly just be like, okay, the 88s seem interesting to me. Wizards can get their 8th win, but at the same time, that 7-18 and that 187, and then you have the 11s. Most often than not, teams split head-to-head for the season, and then Rockets can sit on that 11, and then they have that 16 pattern. 16-16, they would get their 6th loss, 6 sums to 16. But at the same time, today does have 22 date numerology, and Rockets can become 7-9 on the road, 79 the 22nd prime, as they get their second head-to-head win against Wizards. So, I don't know. This was the tough one. This isn't easy. I'll make a final pick on it. I make a final pick on everything. But this one's definitely not an easy one. So Hawks and the Knicks. It's the 12th away game for the Hawks. They can get their 12th win for the season. It's the Knicks' 13th home game, and they can stay on 13 wins for the season with a loss. Today does have 13 date numerology on the Gregorian. Today is the 46th day of the Gregorian year. And Hawks can get their 199th all-time head-to-head win against the Knicks. 199 is the 46th prime number. Today does have 58 date numerology on the Gregorian. 58 sums to 115 and 61. Follow me here. Hawks coach would become 61-115 for a regular season record with the win. Looks pretty good. On top of that, the Hawks would split the series 1-1 head-to-head against the Knicks. So that's pretty enticing right there. I would imagine they probably have Hawks as a favorite. A minus 0.5. That might be an interesting game. But there's always another side. Always another side. So be cautious. Be aware. Hawks, they've been doing this pattern for a little bit. You know, Hawks been sitting on 11 wins for the season. You know, they got their 15th loss, where their coach got his 115. With the loss today, 11-16, as their coach gets his 116. Very real possibility. Going 2-0 like 20. Same thing with the Rockets. It would be the 22 that would allow them to go 2-0. And I would think it'd be the same thing for the Knicks. Because the 20, I don't see like a 26 or 28 or anything like that. Which is what it connects to, or 71. Nothing sticks out to me. But it is the 3rd day of the 6th month on the Hebrew Civil, and the Knicks coach can get his 366th regular season win. Has a 3-6 look to it. Sometimes they blend in, like the 11-16, 116. Coming in with 11-15 record, 115. Today does have 58 date numerology, 58, 115. 38 date numerology, 388th all-time head-to-head matchup between these two. The number 15 sums to 38, and Knicks could just go ahead and just sit on 15 losses for the season with the win. I know 190 is the 19th triangular, I believe. Yeah, 19th triangular. So if there's like a 19 connection, I'm not seeing one offhand. I know 197 is a 45th prime, but today's the 46th day, not the 45th. I don't know if that'd make a difference. I don't know. This one's not as... I mean, I like the 6115. Hawks seem pretty good. I was just trying to find something to counter with it, because Hawks almost kind of seem too good to be true. And sometimes, usually when they are too good to be true, they tend to be. But Hawks look pretty good with that 61-115 and the 199. But let's keep it moving. 76ers, Jazz. Another 199, 46th day of the Gregorian. With the win, Sixers can become 19-9 for a season record. 199, the 46 prime number. At the same time, Jazz, with a win, would sit on 46 all-time head-to-head losses against the Sixers. And Jazz would get their 56th all-time head-to-head win against the Sixers. 56 sums to 46. So there's two different ways that 46 can go. It could either be the Sixers winning 19-9, 46 prime, or the 56-46 right here for the Jazz. 56 sums to 46. Jazz, they could get their 23rd win for this season. 23 sums to 163. The 38th prime number today does have 38 date numerology on the Gregorian. 13 date numerology as well. Jazz would get their 13th home win for the season. But today does have 22 date numerology on the Gregorian. And they can sit on 22 wins for the season with a loss. And that's when Sixers would become 19-9, the 46 prime number. One interesting thing about the Sixers coach is if they lose his record, he'll be 9-6-1, 6-9-1 regular season, which are anagrams of each other. That's kind of interesting. And then, I guess Jazz can become 1-0 head-to-head against the Sixers, like 10, as Sixers get their 10th loss for the season. Or, today is the third day of the 12th month on the Hebrew. 3-12, and Jazz would become 12-3 at home for the season with the loss. So, some stuff to think about there. Cavs and Warriors. It's the 28th game for the Cavs, 28th game for the Warriors. If the Cavs lose this game, they get their 7th loss in a row. 28. 7th triangular number. Warriors would get their 15th win for the season. 15 sums to 38. Today has 38 date numerology on the Gregorian. Today has 58 date numerology as well, which sums to 115 and 155. It's the 115th regular season head-to-head matchup between these two, and the Cavs coach can get his 155 regular season loss for his career. But as they say that, Gregorian, it's the 15th day of February. 15/2, like 152. And if the Warriors lose this game, their coach gets his 152nd regular season loss for his career. Let's see what else. Cavaliers, it's their 14th away game. Warriors can become 14-14 for a season record with the loss. Possibility. It is the Warriors' 16th home game. And with the loss, they would get their 53rd regular season head-to-head loss against Cavaliers, the 16th prime number. Cavaliers would end their 6-game losing streak. The number 6 sums to 16. The Cavs coach would get his 16th regular season win as a coach for Cavs. So that's a pretty good pattern. You're going to have to decide on which way that one's going to go. I do like the 155 and the 1578. So today does have 22 date numerology. 22 does sum to 78. Warriors could get their 78th all-time head-to-head win against Cavs. But that 16 pattern, so you get the 152 here, 16 pattern, 16th home game, 53rd loss, 16th prime. In their 6th game, they get their 16th win, or he gets a 16th win. That's a pretty good pattern. All right, let's keep it going. I don't want to take up too much of your time. Heat and Clippers. The Clippers' 29th game of the season. 29 is the 10th prime number. They can get their 10th home win for the season as they get their 29th all-time head-to-head win against the Heat. But as I say that, Heat can get their 12th win for the season as they get their 37th all-time head-to-head win against the Clippers. 37 is the 12th prime number. Today does have 58 date numerology on the Gregorian. Heat would become 5-8 on the road for the season with the win. However, today does have 38 date numerology on the Gregorian. 38 sums to 149 and 148. Clippers coach can go from 148 to 149 regular season wins for his career. So some slight subtleties here. Either Clippers are going to sit on 20 wins for the season with the loss, or they're going to become 2-0 head-to-head against the Heat. So that doesn't really help out much. You know, the 20 connections, if you find any, goes either way. But I guess, you know, with the 13 date numerology, Clippers coach could sit on 91 regular season losses with the win, the 13th triangular number. It is the Heat's 13th away game. But Heat could tie head-to-head 1-1 against the Clippers. They can even the score like an 11. The number 11 sums to 27, and it's the Heat's 27th game for the season. And last game of the night, Nets and the Kings. Nets, that's their 29th game of the season as well. They can get their 17th win for the season. 17 sums to 109, which is the 29th prime number. 29 is the 10th prime number, and they would become 1-0 head-to-head against the Kings for the season with a win like 10, as Kings get their 10th home loss for the season in their 17th home game. 17 sums to 109, the 29th prime. It's the Nets' 13th away game. Today does have 13 date numerology on the Gregorian, and Nets could go ahead and just get their 13th loss for the season. Today does have 58 date numerology, and Nets would become 5-8 on the road, like 58, as the Kings get their 13th win for the season. Today does have a day leaving 203 left on the Hebrew Civil, and Kings coach comes into this game sitting on 203 regular season losses, where he could stay with a win. Or he could get his 56th loss regular season as a coach for the Kings. 56 sums to 46, and today's the 46th day of the Gregorian year. And then Kings could get their 15th loss. 15 sums to 38, today with 38 date numerology on the Gregorian as well. Kings with the win, though, would sit on 42 all-time head-to-head losses against the Nets, as the Kings coach gets his 142nd win regular season for his career, and 42 sums to 142 and 38. 38 date numerology on the Gregorian. So hopefully I've given you enough information here to build upon and add to it. There's a bunch of other stuff you can do if you wanted to, like pull the birthdays to and from for the coaches, find certain key players and do the name Gematria for them and see what their to and from birthday or stats are. Or, you can do the name Gematria for the Nets, Brooklyn Nets, Kings, Sacramento Kings, location, stadium, all that stuff. I wish you guys the best of luck tonight. Thanks for watching.